Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Hayley from SewHayleyJane and I'm here with another sort of chatty sewing video for you today. So I am making something using fabric from one of my boxes. So if you are new here, I run a subscription box company for dressmakers. So every month I send out themed boxes of beautiful dressmaking and craft fabrics, haberdashery goodies, sewing gifts and extra little treats as well. So this month was the To Me, Love Me boxes because it's February, it's Valentine's Day, but we're sending gifts to ourselves. And sorry, I've been eating chocolate. I've just popped over to Lemon and Ginger, which is a zero waste shop here where my unit is, to get some sewing snacks. So I've got a little bowl here of chocolate honeycombs. They're so good. So yeah, sorry, I should have not done that before recording. Anyway, so I'm using this fabric from the classic boxes, which is this beautiful, so soft. It's got a brushed feel to it. It's a jersey in this mustard colour with roses all over. And oh my, honestly, it is the softest thing you have ever felt. The inside, if I can just, is like that, and that's just as soft as well. So it's going to be super, super snuggly. So I'm hoping to get this finished today because Storm Dennis is on its way. This is like the third storm we've had in a month, or not even a month, like 2 weeks. Who did we have? We had, was it Brendan, and then Kira, and now Dennis is on its way. So I'm hoping to have this finished because this is going to be so snuggly. So I am making the Lena wrap dress from Simple Sew. I have made this before actually. I made this coming up to 3 years ago, but I made it in a fabric that was too thick and didn't have enough stretch for it really. And then I also, like a few days after I finished it, found out I was pregnant, so it was really straining across my boobs at that point as well, and I was like, I'm sure I measured this properly. So I actually never got worn, unfortunately. It was gorgeous, but it was just too tight on me because the fabric wasn't stretchy enough. So I took it to the charity shop because somebody a little bit smaller than me would hopefully have really enjoyed wearing that. But it was also too thick, and the bodice is actually lined. I'm going to line it in this fabric so that it's the same on the inside as well. So it is a faux wrap dress, so the bodice wraps over, but then there is a waistband and a skirt. The skirt also has like an extra, I don't think it's really a frill, it's just like an extra panel, but I've omitted it, but I've lengthened, so I've kind of joined it together already, if that makes sense. I joined the paper pattern piece together so that it's a little bit longer. And I mean, I love all the different variations, so you can have different sleeve lengths or sleeveless, and you can also play around with some colour blocking as well. It is darted, it's got side bust darts, which is unusual for a jersey dress, but I'm hoping that will help it fit nicely across the front. I am making it in a straight size 20, which is the size I cut out the first time round. So it's a little bit, I think it's going to be a little bit smaller than my measurements, but because it's jersey, I'm hoping it will fit. Fingers crossed. So yes, this is what I am doing today. Pop that over there. I really like Simple Sew patterns because exactly as it says on the tin, it's simple. This is it. That's your instructions. Just check, is it, oh yeah, 1.5 centimetre seam allowances. So yeah, I'm gonna just crack on and get sewing. I would normally have a cup of tea, but I literally just finished one whilst I was setting up. So I've got some water, I've got my snacks, might put some tunes on. yeah, I'm just gonna crack on. So I'll show you. Because it's lined, the lining pieces are separate from the, so they've got the like front bodice and then the front bodice lining, and the same with the back bodice, but I'm sure they look exactly the same, but I've kept the lining pattern paper piece on the fabric just to keep that together. Oh, I am also of course adding pockets to this one. Pockets aren't included, so I took a pocket pattern piece from the Minetta dress to add pockets to. I mean, there are a few times when I don't add pockets, depends on the fabric and the style, but this needs pockets, definitely. So I'm going to crack on. The first thing is to sew the bust darts and then sew the lining to the shell at the shoulder seams and the neckline as well. So I'm quite excited about that because it means it hopefully will be nicely finished, although there is understitching involved. If you have seen my last chatty sewing video when I made the fringe top, I told you how much I hate understitching. But never mind. I'll do it. I just need to try not to stretch it out too much. It does have set-in sleeves though, which is unusual for a jersey pattern. So I might have a little look at that and play around and see if I can do it without setting in the sleeves, if I can do it the way where it is set in flat and then you sew the sleeve and the side seams all together. Have a look. Anyway, yes, so I'm just going to crack on with the darts. So today is Valentine's Day. Me and my husband, we don't tend to go in for smushy stuff. He did get me a really lovely subscription to a flower subscription box, if that makes any sense at all, which was really sweet. And then we got each other cards, but yeah, we don't go smushy. My card had a picture of a peach on and it said, "I love you with all of my bum." I would say my heart, but my bum is bigger, which is very true, and that was quite funny. And then Andy got me a card. Have you seen the program You on Netflix with the very creepy stalkery guy? So he got me a card with like an illustration of that. I can't remember what it says on the front, but yeah, it's super creepy, but I loved that. So yeah. And I also got him a box, a mail order cake, which is really exciting. It's like, it's not a cake, it's like cakey things in a box from, it's a company called Cat Food Cakes, and she did like a special Valentine's box of treats, which I'm very excited for turning up. It hasn't arrived yet. I think I did something wrong on my order. So hopefully that will come either tomorrow or Monday. But yeah, excited about that. Right, I'm gonna do that stitch. Okie dokie, so the lining pieces and the main bodice pieces have had the darts sewn in and have been joined together at the shoulder seam. So the next step is this bit here, which is to join the bodice to the lining along the neckline and along the armholes as well. So I've kept a pin in the lining pieces just so that I know that those are supposed to be the lining pieces. I'm not sure if it really is going to matter in the end, because I think they're exactly the same, to be honest. But we shall see. I'm trying to think if there's anything I have been watching on TV since I last did one of these videos. I think the only thing really is, because I told you about Mrs. Maisel, which I loved, but there's a new series of Grace and Frankie on Netflix, which I just love so much. I think Grace and Frankie is so funny. Absolutely adore it. So I'm really happy that there's a new series of that, because when I first watched it, I didn't really get into it as it was being aired. I discovered it and watched, I think, seasons 1 to 5 all in one go. Like, I binged them. And then I felt very sad. I was bereft because there was none left, and it left on like a bit of a kind of a cliffhanger. And yeah, so glad to be catching up with that now. But other than that, not really. Oh, I did see the new Frozen movie recently, which I really liked, but it felt quite dark actually. There were some bits that were very dark. Obviously, I haven't watched it with Mia yet. She's only just turned 2, so most of it will just go over her head completely, obviously, and she'll just enjoy the songs, and it's very visually beautiful as well. The songs are great. Some of it's a bit weird, but I really liked it. It was good. So we've decided we're going to introduce Mia to Toy Story next, because there's 4 movies and no songs that I know of to get stuck in your head, which is why we really like Brave, because there's no like singing. It's not a singing Disney movie, so there's no lovely but irritating songs. Mia loves Frozen and she loves Moana, and the songs in that are great, but oh my goodness, every time we get in the car she wants to listen to Moana. And I try to suggest other things, and I don't always say yes. But those songs just, I wake up in the middle of the night singing those songs. It's just painful. Talking of waking up in the middle of the night, I put about this on my Instagram stories the other day. I very excitedly received the new Tilly and the Buttons book on Monday, Make It Simple, which is great. I love it. And I really want to sew the Sapphire jumpsuit, but I wasn't sure which fabric. And I woke up in the middle at about 2 o'clock in the night because Mia woke up briefly, just needed a cuddle, and then she went back to sleep. But I really struggled to get back to sleep, and I ended up lying in bed thinking about what kind of fabric I wanted to use for the jumpsuit. So yeah, that's the kind of thing I lie in bed thinking about. Lie awake thinking about. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I've bought some online from Sew Me Sunshine. It's a I think it's a tencel twill, I want to say, in like an aqua colour. So I am so excited for that to arrive. But I've just got so much that I want to sew at the moment. I desperately keep trying to sew the Ellis skirt from Cashmerette, which is just a denim mini skirt. I keep putting that one off. That one keeps getting bumped up because it's a bit more bumped down, sorry, because it's a bit more of an in-depth project. I'm sure it won't take me that long, but I keep ending up going, I'll just do this first, or I'll just do that first, or something else gets bumped up. And I was listening to the latest Love to Sew podcast today about sewing as self-care, and somebody said about those projects that keep getting moved down the list for simpler, quicker projects to just do it. Just get it done. Because I think it's something I'm going to wear all the time, much more than some of the other things that I want to sew. I just need to do it. Just need to get it done. Just being lazy. So it says, with right sides together, join the lining and bodice together at the neckline and armholes, but then also to understitch the neckline. And if I sew the armholes, I'm not going to be able to understitch the neckline, I don't think. I could be wrong. I don't think I'll be able to. So, and I don't think it matters anyway, because it's going to have a sleeve go on, so I don't think it will matter. Okay, so the lining and the bodice pieces are all joined and understitched, so I've got a really lovely clean neckline now. So the next stage is, it says to join the right sides together, join the main bodice at the side seams, moving the lining out of the way, and then repeat for the lining. So the idea behind that is that the side seams are all concealed, and then you insert the sleeves. But I'm going to be a bit lazy. I think I'm going to do the sleeves first and then join everything together in one motion, because I get that it means that the side seams are concealed, but then I'm kind of like, well, what's the point if like the seams on the armhole and the skirt are all not concealed? So yeah, I feel like it's kind of extra work, and I'm very much, I'd like to finish the seams properly if the fabric is going to fray, definitely. And then that's it. I am not particularly worried about the insides being pretty, because no one's going to see the insides unless I literally take my clothes off to show them. So yeah, I'm not going to bother with that, because why make life harder for yourself? So I am going to do the sleeves like, well, I'm going to try it anyway. I might be wrong, it might not work, but I'm going to try it and do the sleeves flat like you would with a lot of jersey patterns, and then sew the sleeve and side pieces all in one go. That is my plan. Let's hope it works. I can't see why it wouldn't. Just need to make sure, because there's an extra layer of fabric, that everything is matched up. So yeah, that's my next plan. Okay, so I have done the sleeves, and I did them like I said I was going to, and did them flat. I didn't set the sleeves in, which is what it suggests in the instructions. And actually, because it does need easing in, so obviously this wouldn't work if it was a woven fabric. You would have to gather the sleeve head and then set it into the armhole. But because, which is what they suggest doing in the pattern, but because the fabric is stretchy, I was able to ease it in whilst it was flat. So like you would with any other kind of jersey top pattern. So it's hard to show you, to be honest, but yes, there's that's the sleeve, here's the bodice, so it's worked really well. So the next stage, I will sew up the side seams and the underarm seam all as one. That's the lined piece, and yeah, it's coming together quite nicely. It's just gone 1 o'clock, so I'm actually going to stop and have some lunch now, and yeah, I will be back in a little bit. Okay, hi, I am back from lunch, and I've done a little bit more. So the bodice is all finished now, and I've just pinned the bottom edge together. It says to baste it, but I've just pinned it, and I will take extra care when I sew the waistband on. I also, on the side seams, when I trimmed the side seams, I graded a little bit, because there's a lot there, especially where the darts are there as well. There's a lot of layers of fabric along those side seams, and there's going to be a lot of layers of fabric along the waistband, because with the lined bodice, and where it's a wrap and it's wrapped over at the front, the waistband will be lined as well. So there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of fabric along the front waistband, which is quite a lot. So yeah, there will be lots of grading going on there. So with the waistband, oh, and I think I mentioned I did just, with the sleeves, I just sewed all in one go from the wrist seam, the underarm seam, all the way down through to the side seam, wherever that is, there. So in one long go. See, I haven't pressed that bit yet. I am very excited. I am going to 2 sewing events this month. The first is a trade show. It's CHSI, Stitches trade show in Birmingham on Monday, so I will already have done that by the time this video goes up. So hopefully I'll get to meet lots of lovely people who are already suppliers, and actually meet them in person, which would be really nice because I do a lot over the phone and online. And hopefully meet some potentially new suppliers, which is also exciting. And then at the end of the month is the Stitch Festival, which I'm going to with my mum, and I'm so excited about that. I don't often venture towards London. I might have crossed the front bodice pieces over too far, which I am now definitely glad that I didn't baste them in place and just pin them in place, because then I can just wiggle that around. Anyway, what was I saying? The Stitch Festival, yes, cannot wait, I'm so excited. There's a few other lovely businesses that I know and have met before are going to be there, like the Fold Line, and Sew Me Sunshine's going to be there, so I'm excited to see those ladies again. And I'm really excited that my mum's coming as well. She's just sort of finally gotten back into dressmaking. She hasn't really done much dressmaking for many years, but she seems to have reignited her interest, which is so cool, obviously, because it's really nice to share that with her. And I'm really hoping that Mia will get into sewing and dressmaking and crafts as well. I try to sort of do a few bits of sewing when she's around, like if she's having dinner or she's doing some arts and crafts at the kitchen table. It's quite nice to try and do a bit of sewing with her there so that she gets to see it. I have my sewing machine set up pretty much most of the time in the kitchen at the table, and she sort of does a little dance when the sewing machine goes. She's like, ooh, this is fun. Not much left to do now. Once this waistband's on, it's just the skirt, which is exciting. Okie dokie, what time is it? It's 3:20, so I've got about an hour left to get this done. But the bodice is all done. Waistband attached, and it's lined as well, so it's just looking so snuggly. I'm hoping obviously once it's on and the boobs have filled this out that it's not going to be hanging down like that. Maybe I should try it on. And then I have already stitched the pocket bags to the side seams of the skirt, so I'm gonna stitch up the side seams together now, and then it's just a case of attaching the skirt to the bodice. Now the skirt, this is the first time in ages I have sewn a dress that isn't gathered. I feel like all I've done lately is sew either jersey tops or dresses or tops that have got a gathered waistband. I did do a pleated one. I swapped out the gathers to make pleats recently, but this isn't. This is just an A-line, so I'm excited for that. Slightly nervous actually. It's been ages since I've done a non-gathered waist. So yeah, I'm gonna stitch up my side seams. I don't know how the length is going to be on me at the moment, because I obviously decided not to do the band at the bottom, so I might not get the hem done today. I'll probably take it home and have a good look in the mirror, possibly get my mum to help me, and then finish the hem later, see how we go. But I'm happy with how it's coming together. I think, I'm hopeful it's gonna look good. I know every time I really should do toiles or muslins, whatever you want to call them, but it's just find them time consuming, obviously. And I just don't have that kind of time, which is why I tend to go for things that are either stretchy or floaty and don't need much in the way of fitting because I just can't be bothered. Obviously, if I ever decided that I did want to do something that needed a bit more work, I would do a toile if I had to, but I will avoid it at all costs. And generally, so far, it's worked out for me. The last thing that I made was the fringe top that you saw a few weeks ago. And it's wearable. I did mean to go and add that fourth button yesterday. I had a bit of time and I got my pieces I got the top out and I found another button and I rethreaded my machine in the right colour, and then realised I'd left my buttonhole foot at work so didn't actually get around to it, but I've already grabbed my buttonhole foot and put it in my bag to take home, so hopefully I can get that done, and hopefully that will then fit a little bit better. I'm wondering whether I can sort of add a dart here to try and, if you haven't watched this video that I'm talking about, if you haven't seen my last chatty sewing video, which is the fringe top, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But basically it's a woven top and it's quite floaty, but it's a little bit too big for me across here. So I'm wondering if I can add, like, is it a French dart? Is it called a French dart, where it sort of is bigger in the middle and then peters out? Is that the word I'm looking for? I might see if I can do some fiddling around with that, because I'm really lazy when it comes to trying to alter something after I've finished it, especially after finishing all the seams and everything. But I don't want it to just sit in my wardrobe and not get worn, so I will try. And I do have some more fabric set aside to make another one and make it fit better. Hello again, me again. I actually ran out of time last week to get this finished, so I took it home. There were a few fit issues, so it was a little bit big and baggy here. It still probably is a little bit more. All I did was unpicked the shoulder seams, which was a bit of a pain because it's fully lined. So I had to unpick along here, then unpick along the sleeves as well, and try and turn it through and turn the bodice and the lining pieces all through, and it was all a bit of a fiddly mission, but I did it. And I took the shoulders up, I took 2 centimeters off to bring them up a little bit because there was a little bit of gaping here. I do still feel like I need to wear just a little vest top underneath, which does help it sit really nicely. And then I hemmed it. I realised when I put it on this morning I haven't hemmed the sleeves yet, but that's okay. So yeah, I took it to my mum's house and got her to help me with the hem because it was quite unlevel at the side seams particularly. I always kind of add a little extra length at the sides because I find that my hips being slightly bigger sort of draws the hem up. So if I add a little bit of length, I can then get my lovely mum to help me level it off. I don't always do that, usually it's fine, it's not so noticeable. If it was a real structured dress made in a woven fabric, I probably definitely would. But it was definitely exaggerated in this one. So I'm going to move the camera back and show you the full thing. I'm so happy with it. Did I do anything else? So because where the fabric is stretchy, it didn't matter. I did have to really ease the sleeve head in where I took 2 centimeters off the shoulder, but I think it's okay. You can't tell unless you look really closely. There's a couple of little tucks along there. I think as well, if I was going to make this again, which I probably will, I would probably raise the shoulder seam up here. It's a little bit low on my shoulders, but that's no biggie. And I think I may have stretched the back neckline out a little bit when I was fiddling with the shoulders, but my hair covers it, so it's all good, it doesn't matter. Right, I'm going to move the sleeves back, move the camera back, and hopefully fit the whole lovely dress in. Okay, that's about as far back as I can go. But it comes down to just below my knees. It's got some lovely swoosh going on as well. Pockets too, to make it super, super wearable. And it feels just gorgeous. I love the fit across here and down here as well. I think it's really flattering. So I'm so happy with it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. The fabric is just so scrummy and soft and snuggly. So yeah, I am totally in love with this. Just got it on with leggings and brown boots. I'm not sure if it really works, but never mind. Yeah, love it. So thank you so much everyone for watching along with another chatty sewing video. I really hope you loved it. Again, if you've got anything you want me to talk about whilst sewing next month, let me know. Comment below with questions. Give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd really love you to subscribe. I'm hoping to be back next week with a sort of sewing tutorial. So it's not something I've really done much of before, but I'm planning to use the fat quarters from my boxes to start doing more monthly tutorials, just little quick makes that you can use the fat quarters for. So next week is going to be a little bento bag is the plan. That's my plan. If it happens or not, we'll wait and see. But that's my current plan. I'm hoping to get that filmed on Monday. It's Wednesday today, and I'm not back in the office again until Monday next week because it's half term, so there's no childminder for Mia on Friday. So yeah, that's my plan. Anyway, thank you so much everyone for watching. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day, and I will see you all super soon. Bye.